Hello magical hands, welcome to another tutorial. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Jessica, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. In today's video, we are going to recreate this Pinterest cut set dress with the overlap drape skirt, and this portion of the video is the part 1, and for this part 1 we'll be making only the top parts, and for the part 2 we'll be making the overlap drape skirt. So without any further ado, let's get right into this video proper. I have my front and back piece drafted out. If you're a beginner, there is a video you need to watch on how to draft out your basic bodice before you can watch this very tutorial, and I will link that in the description box. The first thing we'll mark, starting with the front piece, is the chest line. So from the bust point line upwards, I will mark 4.5 inch upwards. Normally I would use 4 inches, but because this we are going to be trimming a bit from it by the time we are done sewing, so I'll just use 4.5 inches. Now at the center front, at that area, I'm going to mark 1.5 inch downwards so we can have that curved look on the chest line. So this is not a straight chest line. I'll go ahead with my marker and connect it. So this is going to be the actual chest line. Indicate what the other line stands for so that we don't mix this up. So I indicated what all my line stands for. This blouse is going to have a back waistline, but I'll do that later on. Now I'll start marking my apex measurement divided by 2 on all the points from the chest line to the half length. I'll connect the lines with a straight line as seen. The bust point is our focus point, so I'm just going to do a point there so we are reminded that that is the focus point. On the left side, as indicated, I'll mark half an inch apart from the chest line. I'll mark half an inch apart on the under bust line, and same as the half length line. I'll connect all this half an inch together to meet at the bust point. Like I said, the bust point is the focus point. Now on the right side, on the chest line, I will mark half an inch from the apex measurements. On the under bust, I'll mark 1.5 inch from the apex measurement. You can use 2 inches. It depends on the distance between your bust and your under bust. Connect together as seen and connect to meet the bust point using the curved side of your ruler. Shade the inner parts because that part will not be needed. We'll be cutting out that part. On the left side, on the chest line, I marked 1.5 inch, and on the base I marked 2 inches. So I'll just connect with a straight line as seen. The main darts, or the whole thing we need to do for this blouse, is already finished. All these lines are just going to be extra sewing lines so we can have more boning cases. If not, the only dart we need for a blouse is that bustier that we've already done. From the armhole line inwards, on that part I marked 1 inch. Like I said, these are just extra lines so we have more boning cases, and on the base I marked 1.5. so you can actually mark this to the measurements that you want. So if you want this to give you a V-like shape downwards, just go ahead and do what I did, because this is what I also got. So now that I've marked these extra lines that I will just be splitting my front pieces into, I will go ahead and start marking my round bodice measurement. On the bust point line, I'll mark my round bust measurement divided by 4. I will mark it on the BP line, and I'm going to mark same thing that I have on the armhole line, and also replace what I have on that dart area, because like I said, we'll be cutting out the dart. So for the waist measurement, I will be using my exact waist measurement because this cloth is going to have lacing at the back, and then I'm going to replace what I have in that dart line. Connect all the lines as seen. For the back's measurement, I just used what I had on the pattern paper. So I'll just extend my dart lines downwards. I noticed I made a mistake. I was not supposed to just do that. I was supposed to close up my bustier line, which is the main dart, before going ahead to do this. So you can see that now it is more accurate. So I'll go ahead with my scissors and start cutting out the parts that we do not need. So after cutting this, I went ahead to do all the arrow placement. You guys do not believe that I did not see any of the clip on how I cut out the back piece. I don't know how come. I think I did not press on play when I was editing. I noticed it, and this whole shit is just messed up, guys. So I had to look for all the pieces of the back piece so that I can explain how we got to where we were. So this is the back piece, and then this is the zip allowance, which I marked 1.5 inch. It's the side fronts. We are going to make sure that the length of the side fronts matches with the length of the side back. So what we did was to extend the armhole line forward. So the armhole line was the chest line for the back piece. So now that we've marked the chest line, we are now going to start placing our apex measurement right from this zipper allowance. So my apex measurement stops in between here. I could not find the pieces that was in here. So the apex measurement stopped here, inside here, which is 4 inches. I marked half an inch apart from the apex measurement, and then I connected it to meet this point. So that is why we have this shape here, and then also connected here to meet here. This is the under bust line. So on the under bust line, we marked half an inch apart from the apex measurement. When I was done doing that, I reduced 1 inch from here so that it will be smaller than the original measurement, so that I can actually put lacing loops here. And then I went ahead to resplit this. This part is totally optional, but I went ahead to split it so I have more sewing lines and also more boning cases. So this was how we were able to get there. So now I have all my patterns ready. I'm going to go ahead and place gum stay on my fabric. My fabric is very silky and very light, and it's going to give me trouble. So I'm going to just put this gum stay on it so that it will stay in one place. I can have control of it, and I'll be using the hard gum stay. So after placing the gum stay on the fabric, I will now fold this up so I can start duplicating or transferring my patterns on the fabric. So I place this on my fabric, and I use my pencil to mark the allowances accurately. So in order to join the number 1 to the number 2, I used 1 inch on both sides, so I have enough allowance inside. I can trim the rest later. And also to join number 2 to number 3, I also put 1 inch for all the join, and also for the side fronts, which will be attaching the side back to, I'll put 1 inch. So on the top part I added half an inch, and on the base I added half an inch. So I'll go ahead and cut. After cutting all the pieces on the fabric, you will see that I cut the number 1 on fold, but the other pieces is going to be in 2 separate pieces. So now I'll go ahead and cut the back piece as well. So right about this time, after I have taken my time to cut everything out, I also cut the lining pieces for all of them. I'm going to start sewing the front pieces first. Starting with the center front, which is piece 1 and 2, I will place them as seen. I'll take it over to my sewing machine, and I'll sew the 1 inch sewing allowance that I added. After sewing it, I also went up to open up the seams using my iron. Moving on to the third piece, I'm going to attach the third piece to this, which is actually the cup piece, which is going to give us the breast darts that we did. So I'll attach them as illustrated. And now I'll move over to piece number 4. After I have put piece number 3, I will go ahead. I also notched in the piece number 3 because of the cup, so it can relax well. I am done sewing up all the front pieces together, and I also went up to open up all the seams inside so that it can be properly ironed from the other face as well. So just make sure you iron this very well. You can see that our seam lines are plenty and is enough to put in as much boning as you want. Also, when I was sewing, I sewed from the lower bodice upwards, so if there's any adjustment, we'll be doing it at the top part. If we need to trim anything, it will be at the top part. So now I'll go ahead and start attaching the back pieces or sewing the back pieces. So I have my back pieces labeled. I have the side back, I have the middle back, and the center back. The center back is where it's going to is the part that will have the lacing loops, which I was supposed to have the zipper allowance, but will not be using a zip like I explained. So I'll first of all place the center back as seen, place two of them at the center, and then I'm going to attach the middle back to the center back just as seen. Now I'm going to attach the side back to this. I'm going to attach it to the side where we have the middle back, not to the center back. So I'm going to place them as seen in the video, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine as well. So I am done sewing up the back pieces, and I took my time to iron this. Like I said, this sleek fabric was actually going to give me enough trouble. So now I'm going to sew up the side seams, and yes, this is what we have. So all these processes I did all the same process to the lining as well, and I ironed it up. I was able to open up the seams of the lining. You can see how everything looks. So now I'm going to trim this up. I'm going to trim the top part so it can align properly, and also I'll trim for the lining as well. Now at this point, if you want to be inserting a boning case, it's now time for you to sew up the boning using the allowance we left inside. Once you sew up the boning case on the main fabric, we are not putting a boning on the lining. Once you sew the boning on the main fabric, you can go ahead and trim the allowance, because you can see that the allowance of this is plenty inside of it, and that is to make sure that we have enough to sew our boning case, so that we will be the one even trimming out later on. But I ended up not using a boning for mine because this is like a practical video. This is actually my first time trying this, but I would advise you use a boning for this. If you're making this for an occasion, please insert your boning in those boning cases that we did. And also this multiple boning cases is going to give you a very snatched effect. Now I'm going to cut out the sleeve of this dress, just as you can see in the picture. The sleeve, I will be cutting this to the width of 10 inches. You can cut yours to be more wide, and also the length, I made it very long because I'll be having both my sleeves from just this long strap here. So this is actually very long, and I'll go and sew up as indicated. So I marked the full length, which is 36 inches, which is just perfect. I'm going to divide this whole long strap by 2, which is going to give me 18 inches. I think that is enough. If you are big, if you are what size, just use the same measurements I use, except you are extra large, then you can use like 20 inches and above. So now I'll be using this for the sleeve. I'm going to sew the sleeve to the top before I can turn it. So the front sleeve is going to be on that armhole area as indicated, and then I'm going to put the other side on the other armhole side. If you remember, that is the side back. That is why I placed the pattern paper, so we'll understand. I have the side back and the side front. So make sure you pleat the sleeve before you attach it inside the armhole area. Just in case, I would not advise you use pure silk to make this dress. I would advise you go for fabric like Duchess, because pure silk will stress you the way it stressed me. After sewing your sleeves to the main fabric, you are going to place your lining on it, and we are going to turn all through except for the base. We are going to sew as indicated. So like I mentioned earlier, you can insert your boning cases at this point if you had already created your boning channel, if you had sewn around those allowances, and then you can insert. But this boning I have is the sewable one, and I don't want to use the sewable one. It's advisable you use the plastic one and iron. If you watch my previous corset video, you will understand what I'm talking about, but if you did not, it's better you still use that one. Now I'm going to flip everything to the right face. Like I said, this is a practical video, but then everything came out fine. I love the results I got from this. I also will be making another one of this dress, but I will make a more longer one, and I'll make sure to insert boning in the boning cases. So using the same tutorial, the same method, I'll make another one as well. So flip everything to the right side. and use your scissors to pull out those sharp ends. So like I said, I would advise you also use a lining that matches, but let's just overlook the fact I use another lining. So this is everything. I've gone ahead to iron, and I'm going to match the lower bodice, which is because I'll be attaching this to the skirt of this blouse. So now go ahead and trim out the excess that I have there. And this brings us likely to the end of this video. Also guys, I was supposed to put lacing loops by the side of this and I totally forgot, so I went off camera and then I loosed this and went to fix in the lacing loops. So I'll just show you guys that and take it to the results of this tutorial.